The reason you quit isn't difficulty. It's the death of the old self that change requires. Let's be clear about something right now. You can handle hard. You've done hard things before. You've pushed through exhaustion. You've survived challenges. You've endured pain, overcome obstacles, figured things out when the odds were against you. So when you quit, when you abandon the diet on day 5, when you stop showing up to the gym after 2 weeks, when you let the business idea fade, when you fall back into the same patterns you swore you'd break, it's not because the thing itself was too difficult. It's because of what continuing would cost you. Not in effort, not in time, not in discomfort, in identity. You can handle hard. What you can't handle is who you have to stop being in order to become someone new. Here's what nobody tells you about transformation. Real change isn't addition, it's replacement. You think you're just adding a new habit, just adding a workout routine, just adding better eating, just adding a morning practice or a business or a new way of showing up. But that's not how it works, because every new behavior you adopt contradicts an old identity you've been carrying. Every new pattern invalidates a story you've been telling about yourself. Every step forward requires you to leave behind a version of yourself that you've known, that you've defended, that you've explained to everyone, including yourself. And that version has to die. Not metaphorically, not symbolically, actually die. That person who says, "I'm just not a morning person," that person has to die if you're going to become someone who wakes up early and does the work before the world asks for anything from you. That person who built an entire identity around their limitations, around being the chaotic one, the undisciplined one, the one who's tried everything and it never works. That person has to be left behind if you're going to become someone consistent, someone reliable, someone who follows through. And you're not ready for that. You're not ready to grieve the loss of the self you've been. You're not ready to stop using your limitations as explanations. You're not ready to release the identity you've built around your struggles, because honestly, that identity has served you. It's kept expectations low. It's given you permission to fail. It's allowed you to stay comfortable in the familiar shape of who you've always been. Think about the stories you tell about yourself. "I've always been this way. I'm not good with money. I'm naturally anxious. I'm just a night owl. I don't have the discipline gene. I've tried before and it didn't work." These aren't just observations. They're not just descriptions of your current state. They're commitments. They're declarations of who you are. And every time you repeat them, you reinforce the boundary of what you're allowed to become. And when you start to change, when you start waking up early, when you start saving money, when you start showing up consistently, you create a contradiction. The new behavior doesn't match the old identity, and your brain doesn't like contradictions. It doesn't like cognitive dissonance, so it does what it's designed to do. It tries to resolve the tension, and the easiest way to resolve that tension: quit the new behavior. Return to the old pattern. Prove to yourself and everyone else that you were right all along, that you are who you said you were, that change isn't for you. Because continuing, actually following through, actually becoming the new version means you can't be who you were anymore. It means you have to stop introducing yourself with your limitations. It means you have to stop bonding with people over shared dysfunction. It means you have to stop getting sympathy for struggles you're no longer experiencing. It means the old self, with all its familiar comforts and excuses and familiar patterns, has to be buried. And you'd rather quit than attend that funeral. So you quit, not because the work is too hard, but because continuing means you can't be who you were anymore. And here's the thing: nobody talks about the grief of self-transformation. We talk about the excitement, the possibility, the new you that's waiting on the other side. We talk about growth like it's purely additive, like you just become more without losing anything. But that's a lie. You lose the comfort of the known self. You lose the safety of low expectations. You lose the community of people who related to the old version of you. You lose the stories you've been telling, the explanations you've been giving, the identity you've been hiding behind. And even if that old self was limiting you, even if it was keeping you small, even if it was built on pain and limitation, it was yours. It was familiar. You knew how to be that person. Becoming someone new, that's terrifying, because you don't know how to be that person yet. You don't know what it feels like to be disciplined or consistent or someone who follows through. You don't know who you'll be when you can't use your struggles as an identity anymore. So at the first sign of difficulty, the first time the alarm goes off early, the first time you have to say no to something you'd normally say yes to, the first time the new behavior feels uncomfortable, you interpret that discomfort as a sign that it's not working. But it's not that it's not working, it's that it is working. The discomfort you're feeling isn't the program failing, it's the old self dying. And instead of leaning into that death, instead of honoring it as a necessary part of transformation, you run, you quit, you return to the familiar casket of who you've always been, because at least there, you know the shape of the pain. So here's what has to happen if you're actually going to change. You have to be willing to mourn. You have to be willing to say goodbye to the version of yourself that you've been defending. You have to let that person, with all their limitations, all their excuses, and all their familiar patterns, let go. Not with shame, not with self-hatred, but with gratitude for what that version of you survived, and with the courage to admit they can't take you where you're trying to go. The next time you feel the urge to quit, ask yourself, what am I actually resisting? Is it the difficulty of the task, or is it the death of the identity that staying would require? Because if it's the second one, and it almost always is, then quitting won't actually relieve you. It'll just delay the inevitable. You'll keep trying. You'll keep starting. You'll keep hoping that someday it'll be easier. But it won't be easier until you're willing to let the old self die. The work isn't the hard part. The funeral is, and you've been running from it long enough.